Hi, everybody. Hi. Oh, actually, I forgot to turn my art lights on. How about I do that? It's time, isn't it? Yeah, it's 7:30. Yeah. 7:30. We'll start. So, my name's Benoit. Who's here for the first time? Ah, welcome, welcome. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, nice round of applause for brave people who decided that going to a stranger's house was a very perfectly safe thing to do. So, yeah, this is our house here. We built this place for you and your friends. And I hope that you tell your friends about us. But if there are people you don't like, just keep it to yourself. Don't tell them. Because obviously, if you don't like them, I don't want to see them, right? But a few things. We have a bathroom on each floor back there. They're in this room back there. And because, people always come to my office like, where's the bathroom? It's in there. Also, we have a different visual artist every month. And this month, he's a tattoo artist. His name is Chris Trovador. And he's not, I don't think he's here tonight, but yeah, he's neat stuff. And incredibly affordable. In fact, I think I forgot to put the cards back out because yesterday we had to put a lot of merch out. But he's got like prints, little cards. They're $5 each. So yeah, the small pieces are $100. The other ones are $250, and the big ones I think are maybe $400. I don't know. I forget exactly. But I think he's got a price list out there. They're very affordable. So you can talk to him, and maybe he's even open to haggling. I don't know for sure. Wow, this one drooped a little bit. I have to fix that light. So I see things, and it drives me nuts. I'm a little OCD, as you can tell already. And if you heard me, I read once and I spoke another time, and you can tell right away in my performances that I'm an OCD person. It's fine. I live with it, and it has its advantages. So we have Terry Olsen in the house, everybody. Where's Terry? Somewhere. So, yes, Terry. Oh, back there. Terry is the arts instigator, and he's a future president of the board of Timucua, and Lauren is also on the board of Timucua. And we really, really appreciate our members. Kevin is here, is a wonderful member, and so if you want to support the nonprofit, the Timucua Arts Foundation, please do, because we need your help. We had a few weird events this past few weeks, and weird meaning like slow, and so we need help. And as you know, federal funding is not on its way up, and state funding might be, because it has nowhere to go but up from where it was. So, I have to be optimistic. But there are many ways that you can help. You can volunteer. We have some volunteers tonight. Jerry and Ariana and V. Yeah. And Ward. Ward volunteers on many fronts. He volunteers here at events, but he also copyrights some of our stuff. He writes some of the copy on the website that you see. Very, very, very appreciated. You can do that. You can also, volunteering allows you to see ticketed shows for free. So that's something to keep in mind. Like if there's a show, oh man, I wish I could go, but me and my friend, that would be $60, and well, if you remember, it'd be $40. But just saying. But $0 is better than $40, so you can volunteer and see the show for free, and then you work another 3 minutes, 4 minutes after the show, and then you go home. So I am glad to announce, because I've said that, I told that story a few times, a young man last year brought a first date to volunteer here, and they got married last week. So, it works, it works. So what else? Schedule-wise, there's a few things you need to know. We're gonna close, like next week, this weekend coming up, we are closed. We have an artist circle this Wednesday. So the third Wednesday used to be deep listening every third Wednesday. But from now on, it is artist circle. So we had a couple in the Saturday afternoons. Now it's going to be the third Wednesday at 7:30. and Anna Bauman will moderate. But whatever it is that you do, I mean, you're here, you like poetry, so you're more than welcome to come. You can come and show what you're working on, and you meet other people, and there might be other poets there. They're also going to be visual artists and dancers and musicians, and we've already seen some collaborations, born out of this event. So I'm very, very much excited about it, and I hope that you are too, because it's free, and you can just come and enjoy yourself and maybe learn something or teach something, which is both are equally positive things. And then this weekend, the Memorial Day weekend, right? Yes, I'm not wrong, right? Okay, because I didn't book any events. I have private events, but we close up World Music Weekend at the 30th and the 31st, and we have La Lucha on the 30th. It's not sold out yet. It is likely going to sell out. Very good group. We have a Colombian, a Mexican, and an American, and they do great stuff. I can't even. They might play Latin jazz. They might play, 80s pop music turned into jazz that you won't even recognize. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're very good. And then we have multiple Grammy-winning duo, Tal Cohen on piano from Israel / Australia, and John DeVersa, and so it's like a piano and trumpet / voice duo. But they last time they came, they took my audio and they made an album, and the album is out right now. It just came out last week, so they're going to celebrate that. They're going to come here and do that. And you may be interested to know that the June Authentic Selves is a open mic only, so there's a few more spots than usual. And of course, we take July off. But before we go on break for July, you have the chance to come and see Hamlet here, directed by Michael McNamara, and he has like some faculty at UCF in the cast, so it's going to be good. So hopefully, are you in the cast? Did you raise your hand?
Oh, no, sorry.
That would be cool. So, but I hope that you guys consider coming to see, I guess, the original English poet. Maybe not the original, but the best known. Shakespeare's pretty cool. And I don't know how he's going to present the Hamlet. Has been done in many different ways, so I have no clue what it's going to be. But there's 4 different performances of it, so I hope you catch one of them. So, any questions for me? Please silence your cell phone. Please disable your flash. I'll say that again. Please silence your cell phone. Please disable your flash. Take pictures and share them on Instagram. Tag us, tag Lauren, tag each other, whatever you want. And also bring your stainless steel cup to the bar before you leave the house. And there's a bowl there. It's a magic bowl. It was my late daughter's first pet that she got when she was a wee little curly-haired baby. And it was a betta fish, and now it turns your appreciation for us into money, so that we can, feed our musicians, and because now our musicians are our pets, I guess, and our performers that come here, because this is a community effort, and everybody counts, everybody's important, right? So please help me welcome the great, the one and only Lauren White.
Hello, everyone. Hello. You should see your face right now, Grace. You're so excited. So some of you will appreciate, who have been coming here for a while, that I have a fan now. I bought fans. Hormones are a bitch. So let's get started. Some of you know who our feature is tonight. And I am actually really proud of this person, because they are one of our regulars here. They've been coming here about a year and a half, and I believe they're started reading when they started coming to this show. And they speak about being bipolar, having anxiety, mental health in general, being queer, and just trying to get through one day at a time. So I will have to say, I have to make fun of her just a bit when she said, I gotta ask you something. I was like, okay. And she's like, never mind, I was gonna say something crazy. I'm like, well, now you have to tell me. And she's like, can I feature? I'm like, why is that crazy? Like, she's like, and then she's like, I'm gonna hurl. I'm like, that was a few months ago. I'm like, it's cool, you're gonna do great. So Everybody, part of our Authentic Selves family, Kay Devlin.
How y'all doing tonight? Oh, forgot to stay in the box. All right, so I love Lauren. I love the space. I love all the poets that I've met on this journey. So I'm gonna give a little story about who I am tonight. So a couple pieces I have read before, but there are a few new pieces. So my first piece, I had 2 miscarriages when I was young, 16 and 19, and I wasn't able to have children anymore. So this is kind of about that. It's called Obliterated. Shattered into a million pieces, my soul has been destroyed with the loss of you. Never will I get to hold you in my arms. Never will I get to hear your laughter. Never will I get to see you grow. For I am not able to be there for you and you for me. No matter how many times I tried to put the shattered, bloody, tearful pieces back together of my soul, I know I have to let you go. Knowing that I will never get to know that one thing that only mothers get to feel and know. That's why I have a broken soul. So that piece was very hard for me to write because it's something I really don't talk about unless you're my partner. My friends know, and actually one of my ex-partners is here, so it's kind of nice to share that with you guys and having a safe space, so thank you guys for that. My next piece is about my grandmother. I read this piece before. She's my rock. She's my ride or die. She passed away in 2021, but she's the one person that always saw me. No matter what bullshit everybody else saw, she saw me. It's called Grandma. Dear Grandma, you always made me seen, heard, and acknowledged. We had a bond that no one could ever break. You never made me feel dismissed or broken. You held space for me when everyone else deemed me as dramatic or too outspoken. You had an unspoken understanding, even with all the chaos in the family, the drinking, the lies, and the avoidance making. I never felt lost when you were around. You were the only person that could really tell when I was down, especially in that dark place known as suicide. You never judged me for it. You took it in stride and chose me to love me harder. Even with the manic chatter, you never judged me, not one bit, even with all these tattoos and shit. You never judged me. Never. You always said you loved me, flaws and all, but you always told me they weren't really flaws and all. They were a part of a puzzle that made me me. She always wanted to make sure that I knew, bipolar and all, that the love we shared had no fault, no ends, no bounds, because in the end, real love knows no bounds. Thank you, Granny, for loving me, and one day I hope I can see the person that you see. So my next piece is, I am a bipolar and anxiety advocate. I really like to bring awareness that, just because you can't see someone's demons, be kind. I feel like that's the problem. We all have shit, right? We all have things in our mind. We all have things that we can't let go and control. So I just remind people, be kind. So most people that know me know I work out. I love lifting weights. I do CrossFit. So this is called the essence of my bipolar body. My body is my vessel. It takes me places that I never thought it would go. Strength in my soul, lifting heavy, even when the mixed chaos in my mind, darkness and light within, duality, the highs and lows of me. My body embraces the essence of what bipolar does to me. Sweat and deep breath, even the internal torment and duality, the manic chatter make my mind race. Hold up, bring the barbell to my chest as I take a deep breath. Fuck, I still have one more set, but yet this body is me, strong as fuck exterior, and every day it seems to show up for me. Even on the days where I go through the motions, my body is the essence of the bipolar beast within, strong even with the chaos of it all. My mind may be altered to some, may even seem that I have a screw loose, but in the end, because most can't handle the essence of the truth, strong and through adversity, both mind and body. So tell me, you say I'm crazy? What's your excuse? So my next piece, I've done yoga for a long time. I do it every day. It's something that helps my mental health. It grounds me. So this is kind of, it's about what we do every day. I think we all sometimes forget to breathe, right? How many times have you guys been driving and hold your breath, right? Anybody in here? All right, so everybody let's take a nice inhale in with me. And exhale, let's let that shit go. This is called the breath. The breath is something we do on a daily without even having to think. An unconscious, unaware thing that our body does to keep us living. But it is so much more than that. The breath is that thin line between us and the other side. The breath is the essence to bring us back to that present moment called life. The breath will allow you to bring yourself back to focus when that thing called anxiety tries to take you out. With that feeling of 1,000 pounds of pressure sitting on your chest, pushing down, making your soul feel like it's getting destroyed in that fucking overwhelming chokehold of fucking emotion. The breath will destroy you and allow the pressure to build, to dissolve, even if it takes a moment to do so. As someone that deals with thoughts and darkness on a daily, realizing when shifting focus from the external focus to the breath, so simple, yet so forgotten. That thing that we call us back to the present moment of what we call life, a gentle reminder, holding it in will be nothing but detrimental to your life. Inhaling the love and essence of what you are, exhaling the expectations of what you think you need to be. The breath is what we need, so breathe and be. So I was bullied a lot as a kid, and I felt very much dismissed a lot in my life, with partners I was with, my family, because again, when you keep pushing it down, it's just gonna come outside, right? So this is about having your voice and speaking your truth. It's called voice. My voice needs to be heard, so I will say these words. So many have dismissed my emotions. Oh, you're just depressed, dramatic, or trying to get attention, so I would push it deep down into the depths of me, where I would throw away the key for trying to speak. My truth was not ready to be received. I know I speak through the pain, through the darkness, through these words known as my art. I am bipolar, beautiful, fiery, quirky, and kind, and sometimes full of chaos in the mind, for I will continue to use my art to share my voice. For those that try to bring me down, you gave me no choice. For now I am free and will continue to share without a doubt. For my truth will never be dismissed again. For I hope to be the voice of those of things that need to be heard. So my last piece is something I usually don't do. It's a smut piece. So actually my friend Fremont, I don't think he's here tonight. He kind of inspired me a few months ago when he did his smut piece. So this actually it's real. It's not like a fantasy or anything, but it was with this guy that was 20 years older than me.
Get it.
And let me tell you, honey, I had never felt so wanted, I had never felt this prior or since him. He kind of set the bar high, you know? Anybody have a lover like that where you're like, damn, you just can't. All right. So it's called deep connection. Hands all over my body, exploring these curves, ivory and ebony contrast, deep within, long stroking by making my toes curl, heart racing, fuck, go harder, long stroking deeper, gripping my thighs, hand soft choke on my throat, full body connection as one being. Intense heat and pulsation between, changing positions, essence of my backside, doggy silent deep inside, gripping the bed sheets as the moaning proceeds, climbing now on top, power under my thighs. Oh fuck, I love to ride, titties bouncing, nothing more sensual than a man that can moan, especially when they are deep in the essence of me. Pure pussy power, baby, in between these sheets, pure fucking bliss. Release a couple of these O's spoken, fuck, that was good. Heart beating fast. Thank God. Now let's relax. Thank you, guys.
what?
I need this fan right now. Damn. Girl was up here rolling, okay? I was like, all right. I'm very proud of you, Kay. I am very proud of you. And there are a couple different things. One, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. You know that there are a number of us, including myself, that love to talk about mental health awareness, realize the importance of it. Suicide awareness, it is okay not to be okay. So I appreciate, Kay, that you've always been vulnerable about being bipolar and about your mental health. And I, one, wish that you could have seen yourself up here compared to a year and a half ago. You've been so nervous about this for months, and you have grown so much. That was amazing. That was beautiful. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And to have somebody that appreciates who you are, all your flaws and whatnot. I remember finding out at 34 that I had this checklist somebody gave me, and it was like autism in women. And I'm going through this checklist, and I gave it to my mom, and I looked at her, and I said, I can't fix this. Because everything else I could be medicated for, I could do this for. And you know what? It turned out to be a relief, because I understood why I got bullied in school and why I couldn't communicate with people and why I was always asking a lot of questions that annoyed my dad, because I was just very curious. So it's difficult, but it's a relief to know who you are too, so you can begin to embrace it. All right, thank you, Kay. So getting into the open mic portion of our show, the rules. Somebody got stuff on this carpet. I'm confused. Okay. In the square. Doesn't mean you have to just be right here. You can go over here. You can go over here. Just don't go back there, because then we can't see you and the cameras can't see you. What's the rule? What's the most important rule? 5 minutes. One more time. I know you all know it. 5 minutes. Okay. You have 5 minutes to do your set. Now, I will call 3 of you at a time. Please line up over here just to help us progress. And then if you have not let me know that you are here and you signed up, let me know. Now, I have a lot of folks today. I see you all waving at me. If I have a lot of folks today, I probably cannot get everybody in. I will try my best. And even if you signed up late, if people don't show up, just be ready. I may call you. Be prepared. Okay? You know what I do instead of not breathing? I go like this. I don't realize I have fists for an extended period of time. Okay, our first 3, Simran, Rashida, and Song. Yeah. Okay.
I am also incredibly proud of our feature, Kay. I have gotten to know her since I first started to come here, and she has just made this such a welcoming environment. So, like, on top of the poetry, on top of how much she's grown technically, she's just such a good human being. So, I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad you're able to teach us. But Lauren, everything you said about fists, I think will be very applicable to this new poem. This one is titled, Praise Be to Hand Warmers. Today, someone told me to lean into the joy, and I listened. I listened like I was doing a trust fall, like a flower bending toward the sun, like the sun was a brother and a brother was a bird and the birds are alive. I told them, I'll be happy to surrender when hell freezes over. But then, hell fucking froze over. And I got trapped inside, fuck. Glaciers moved atop me and I did not notice. I just felt weight and did not know why. One atop the other, and my ribs bent and broke, and I swallowed the crumbs of my bones to remind me of myself, to remind me of nostalgia, taught myself that a clenched fist retained more heat then an open palm, and I squeezed so hard that my nails grew into my palms and rewrote the lines, put periods in places that were previously devoid of them, and my future became staccato. Clearly, I'm a stubborn bitch. I always have been. In here, under the ice, time moves so fucking fast. Yesterday, I was 19. The day before that, I was 9. Tomorrow, I'll be 101. But the ice will preserve me precious in the present, present enough that I'll remember the promise I made to myself 20 years ago. It sounded like, hey, me in 20 years. Promise me you'll be happy. Hey, me in 20 years. Promise me you'll remember that story about the flowers and the suns and the brothers and the birds. Before all this shit buried you impotent, you believed you could control the weather. Which is to say, you believed in yourself enough to believe there was a God, or at the very least, that hand warmers existed for a reason. Like your palms could get hot enough to crack prison cells, a belief that you can still listen. Even if sound travels slower here, that sometimes someone is looking out for you. That sometimes someone can melt glaciers with mercy and a little bit of faith and find you preserved, present, and tell you it happened a while ago. And tell you you were on the front lines. And tell you they were after you, and tell you you fought back, and tell you you were ill-equipped, and tell you you fought back still, and tell you you were not the only one, and tell you you made a difference, and tell you you are powerful, and tell you you are enough, and tell you that they did not take away your joy, they did not take away your joy, they did not take away your joy, boy! You can still lean toward the sun. The sun is still a brother, and you can fly away alive. They wanted you to die, but you're a stubborn bitch, so fly, motherfucker, fly. And if you ever find yourself lost, promise me, brother, you'll lean into the joy. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. Hi, I'm Rashida. I am here for work in Orlando. Been here for 2.5 months, and I'm like going stir crazy. So I'm like, I Googled, and I was like, I just feel like I just need to go and say something that I've written. So here I am, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of your group this evening. And I'm just going to go into it, and I'll talk about it later if I still have some time left. He wants to occupy a space that's been vacant for many years. And the thought of him being there brings me to tears. He promises never to let go, never let go, never gonna let go. My heart says yes, but at the same time it's saying, I just don't know. Because I'm sitting on the edge of love, afraid to take this chance, even though I'm getting caught up in his hypnotic love trance. He knows things about me I never intended to share. He wants to love me for life and play in my hair. I reveal myself to him, and then I get scared. It's like my senses are temporarily impaired because I can't see how he could care in such a short period of time enough to want to merge his life with mine. He asked me to love him for the rest of my life and beyond. He's trying to establish an unbreakable bond. And I'm not sure just as, like, how do I respond? But there's something stirring in my heart that makes me start to tell him, I love you. I love you. I love you. With much ado about something meant to stay concealed, is something about the way that he makes me feel. We've made impassioned love in our imaginations, and we fall asleep holding our phones. His words caress my body and resonate in my bones, and in between appetizing words and passionate moans, he speaks of a love totally uncharacteristic of anything anyone else is doing these days. Unconventional baby steps towards giant leaps, bringing up all my fears about going too deep. But I want to take the risk because I want to be free. I want this man to love only me. I want us to create our first memory. But I still need a guarantee that he won't hurt me. They say in love, you take a risk, you take a chance, and you pray that it's not the same old song and dance. So I ask myself if I can do this, if I can love him and pray that I'm not some small part of one of his whims. See, my love was in danger once before, so when this stranger who feels so familiar says the words, I love you, at my heart's door, I'm left with feelings that are so hard to ignore. So what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Because he wants to occupy a space that's been vacant for many years, and the thought of him being here brings me to tears. I call that one vacancy available, but it's a little chaotic, so we'll see what happens.
How y'all doing tonight? I go by the name Son Alexander. You can call me Son for short. I'm a rapper, I'm an actor, I'm a poet. I do a little bit of all these things. One thing I want to say real quick. I appreciate, thank you, Ashley, thank you, Lauren, thank you, Crystal. I appreciate y'all for being such uplifting and positive people in my life. I've been going through it this year. And I don't usually perform the poem I'm going to perform, but where I'm going, like what's going to take place in my life right now, I'm here because I need to kind of re-remind myself why I do what I do and who I do it for. So I'm gonna do a poem about my sister. It doesn't have I never formally named this piece. I just call it the gentleman piece, but we'll get there. I'm often reminded of my propensity to be extra courteous towards women on a daily basis. Every day it's, Rasan, you're so nice, or, oh, you're so sweet, or, you're the kind of guy I wish my daughter would meet. I accept their compliments with a smile, act shy, blush on the inside, and blame my good behavior on my mother. Explain that she raised me under a canopy of chivalrous intent based off attributes that she found in my pops, plus I know that she popped me upside my head if I had ever dared to stop. But what I often fail to explain is the true rain that watered me. For I developed these gentleman-like features under the cascading teardrops of my big sister. A woman who always seemed to have romantic run-ins with the wrong type of mister. Feeling the pain of seeing her face bruised and her feet blistered, I fear her heart had a weak spot for concealed sinister. And this became evident with the first one. A stray dog with no collar that barked and hollered, probably fresh from abandoning his first son, baby girl, run. Mama waved her red flag from the jump. Told her he'll have his way with you for a while till you're with child, and like trash, you'll get dumped. Mama read it in his demeanor. Said he'll whisper sweet nothings in your ear till they grow sour, then he'll grow meaner. But big sister didn't believe her. Because with all of her heart, she loved him from the bottom. From his liquor-stained breath to the forearm ink that read attitude, problems. He claimed that he cared, but his heart played possum. His anger photosynthesized, but his love never blossomed. He was her user and abuser, a beggar and a chooser, throwing verbal haymakers. His tongue was a bruiser, claiming, bitch, you ain't shit without me. He always made time to project onto her his worthlessness. A stab wound to her wound would have hurt much less. I became an uncle when I was 11. By 12, her sniffled weep had become an all too familiar sound because by the time I turned 13, he stopped haunting us with his presence when he went ghost. Out of sight, but still on our minds as a mystery. But what's worse is he was just the first. the beginning of her side affair with pain, the prefix to her near doom, the prerequisite to her being held at gunpoint by her lover with her son still in the womb, the precursor to a fist meeting her belly, breaking her water 2 months too soon, the predecessor to a mixture of misogynists whose only mission in mind was which woman would massage his next, the prototype to future philanderers who treated emotions like oceans, but only to become rip currents of misery, drowning all hopes of lungs, breathing love. I wish I could have been her lifeboat. But I was too young, too weak, and always too far away, and now all I can do is remember that I could never be like them. So when I meet a woman, I hold open doors and pull out chairs. Offer my arm when we walk, compliment her smile, body, and hair, or any little things I can do to treat a queen like royalty. Because the smallest of simple gestures may bring a heart back from the brink of uncertainty, my big sister. You deserve much better than what you have received. So I strive to show the world the better man through the gentleman in me. Ashe.
Saul now knows why I have a fan. I was going to ask you why you put that jacket on before you came up here.
I mean, look, I had to coordinate.
That was great, all of you. I always love that we have very varied topics, but kind of all come down to being vulnerable. So thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try my best because I think a lot of people didn't show up. So again, if you signed up for the open mic and you have not talked to me or checked in with me, please let me know. In the meantime, next three: Anthony, Avery, and Ian.
How's everybody doing tonight?
We all right?
All right.
We all right?
Now we gotta try to see how's everybody doing tonight? Good. All right. I'll be talking. All right, square. There you go. So I got two short poems. I think I'm gonna cut it down just to make sure everybody's got time. Huh? I should be okay? All right, we're gonna do that. All right. So this first piece, I actually wrote it in a writer's workshop. And there's a person here named Peter that he actually was the one that kind of got me involved in this group, and we went to this workshop. And so they gave us a prompt, and I wrote it in 15 minutes. And so essentially all it is like about a screensaver. And the reason why I bring up the fact that it only took me 15 minutes to write, because it takes me time to write. So that was something I kind of, went through a process pretty quickly and wasn't expecting that. So anytime you're kind of thinking you can't do something and it's outside of you, I just encourage you to try it because it might take you to a place you've never been before. So now here's the poem. The screensaver. I see sediments, slices of an earth-toned rainbow, layers. I smell clay red as a rusty Mars. This clay is from Ideal, Georgia. I've been there a few times, mostly for funerals. Ideal is almost foreign to me. The clay flows thick through nostrils. I find this funny. I don't know how to inhale the land that nourished collard greens that fed my earliest ancestors. Lines and sediment make this difficult. There's a stripe, a separating white layer with waves and a redder clay on the other side. The screen ends there. I see the redder clay and smell nothing. I feel nothing as I inhale the clay. There's some place in West Africa, maybe Caribbean, maybe some long sunken Atlantic island this redder clay comes from, a place completely foreign to me. This clay is a ghost that holds the end of my bloodline that can never be resurrected to tell me its secrets. So I guess the clay's smell. I guess the clay's thickness. I let Ancestry.com paint a map from a few drops of spit I gave out of exhaustion. I'm tired of wandering, so I fill blanks with my own folklore and folklore I like. My folk tales start like this. There was a kingdom of people carved from the highest plateau. They stood 8 feet tall. All right, so I'm gonna open up a little bit. I would say this last month has been real tough. I lost my brother. Yeah. And I wrote this piece before he passed away. And so it's really about memories. And yeah, I'm gonna jump into it.
Take your time.
Yep. It's called Butterflies. When a butterfly dies, does it vanish? I say it can't. When I die, my daughter's laughter become the smell of jasmine, her smile jazz. Was my son's laughter become the tide and pelicans basking at dusk? I've neither hugged nor kissed an act of God, only experienced. Do memories matter after we die? We all matter, so it only makes sense. But I've been wrong before. Or do we carry memories into the afterlife? Did my granny tuck my daughter's first steps in her purse? Are they her favorite mints? Or are they space? Gaps between steps in the spiral staircase? DNA? Do they fill the gaps in DNA? What happens to the mundane ones? In the grand scheme, hugging my kids is a raindrop in the ocean. A gravity wave sounds like a raindrop. Gravity waves bend universes. Is a hug a gravity wave or a raindrop? I say they're the same. Both radiate ripples, touching whatever's in the water. Will movie nights with my family become constellations? Will the sun absorb conversations with my wife and reincarnate them as sunlight? Or do all memories become helium? Are memories the reason why the spirit floats? When a butterfly dies, does it vanish? A caterpillar's casket is a butterfly's womb. Whose womb is the butterfly?
On the day after you almost die, the world will move confoundingly slowly. Time and space will stagger and stall to a snail's pace, and you'll watch in confusion as the people around you carry on, lifting and lowering their legs in place while your feet only recall one speed: to run. And you do. You run in whatever direction feels like home. On the day after you almost die, you will realize you are lost. Your ears won't recognize the music in the air. They'll have been fine-tuned to channel blood-curdled cries and crashes and sirens, and you'll crane your neck in each direction, listening for a sound that feels like home. On the week after, the day after you almost die, you'll regain feeling in your toes. You'll touch each surface carefully as if it's fragile as you are, having only just been reborn into the world. You'll run your fingertips along its edges, searching delicately for a texture that feels like home. On the month after, the day after you almost die, you will begin to smell the flowers. but you won't like their scent. Every sweet thing will be mixed with burnt memories tinged in alcohol, damp mildew, and piss, and you will tilt your nose up in repulsion, searching for a scent that feels like home. On the year after, the day after you almost die, you will begin wondering why. Not why did you survive, but why do ibises fly in V's across the sky? Why do we migrate with the seasons, trading sand castles for jack-o'-lanterns? Why do we try to keep up with the latest trends when the only consistent trend is change? Why do we ask ourselves these things? Well, simultaneously we strain to fit in and play the game, and your head will spin, aching for a solution that feels like home. On 5 years after, the day after you almost die, you will begin to see the softness in the mirror reflection's eyes. You will begin to lift and lower your legs in steady stride, enjoying the rhythm of the music, carelessly indulging in sweet pleasures, allowing uncertainties to carry you forward by way of hope. And know that you have been, are, and will always be home, in your body, your mind, and your heart. And sometimes you will fall down hard. But by then, you will have found the courage required to pick yourself up and start over. And as you rise, you will recognize a pair of shaky legs and tired feet running towards whatever direction feels like home. And under your breath, you will wish this stranger luck, that one day too, they will find the strength to find themselves.
Hey everyone, my name's Ian If. Quick plug, I have a night as well that I would love to see you all out at. It is a night called Campfire. It is at 1010 Brewing, if you are familiar with that. It is on Virginia Avenue. And we do it on the third Wednesdays, but we will not be there this coming Wednesday because it is a fringe venue right now. So we will be there in June on the third Wednesday at 7 o'clock. It is called Campfire. You can find us on Facebook. Please look it up. It's a round table. We don't have a mic. It's just sort of we share as we share and we talk and we sort of go through things. So wonderful to have you all out there. I'm just going to read you a couple of short old poems of mine because I just haven't read poetry on a stage in like forever. So here we go. This is called Two Ads. I saw the first one on a gas station pump at a Wawa. You know how they have those little TVs in the pumps now? This was one of those. As I was filling my tank, it told me I could join a class action lawsuit against Wawa, the place where I was getting gas. It said that hackers had stolen personal information of rewards members and customers, and I could be one of them. Someone whose data had been stolen, whose address was being passed around the dark web. And I could get compensation for this. The ad ended right as the pump clicked, letting me know my tank was full, with a QR code. Scan the QR code to join the lawsuit. I saw the next one before a movie, before Shang-Chi, in a theater empty except for Thad and me. A woman in some sort of Land Rover overlooking a cliff, maybe California. She says something to the effect of, "It's just a small lock," but that moment of hesitation kept me from going through with it. Then we see she has a gun in a gun case on the passenger seat. And the gun has what looks like a mini bike lock around it. And the narration continues, learning how to lock your guns can help prevent suicide. Your suicide. I.e., we know you have guns. We know you want to kill yourselves. So lock up your guns, because we can't tell you to get rid of them. But we don't apparently want you to kill yourselves. I don't know what stage of capitalism these ads are from,
but it's one of the last ones, right? All right, and this is called QTI. 5,000 or 10,000 or 30,000 or 70,000 or 1,000,000 years ago, on the banks of a river that spanned from one horizon to the other, a troop of great apes were eating the seeds of the tall grasses that grew at the water's edge. One, an adolescent, darted between the large males and snatched the seeds as they dropped. As he stooped to grab the seeds from the foot of the largest silverback, the Goliath crushed him beneath a massive fist. The cry went up, the apes shrieking at each other, pissing, throwing their shit, biting, mayhem. One, a female, stuck her finger in the dirt and drew a circle, and then placed all her seeds inside it. Another ape took notice and did the same. And soon all the apes were drawing circles and placing their seeds inside them. Finally, the silverback drew his circle, wider than the rest, and cutting through the circles around him. Another shriek, more pissing, more shit. When the fracas was calmed and the bodies pushed into the river, some of the circles had no owners. The apes stared at the unclaimed seeds, pondering how to divide them without another brawl. 1,000,000 or 70,000 or 30,000 or 10,000 or 5,000 years later, one of them wrote the words, "Qualified Target Industry Tax Refund." "There," the ape said, "that ought to do it."
Your shit is always so wild. All right, thank you, folks. Next three, Sparrow, Alejandro, and April. I'm really excited that I made it out tonight. Some of you might recognize this as my problematic faves poetry book, Lana Del Rey. But one of the interesting things about the book really is that in the back she put some of these like blank pages, notes for a poet, and I ended up writing some of my own back here, so I'm gonna read a couple of those for you guys tonight. I tried to give up my life at a crossroads, walking too slowly across the busy roadway. In a pool, once with red wine and a few too many extra strength liquid gels. And then all the times I flirted with disaster, let my guard down with a stranger, held my breath and offered an easy way for the universe to take me out, let me leave this mundane plane of existence. And yet so much had always changed from each of the times I'd tried, that something in me is broken not to have realized why I've survived. A cornucopia of regret is what I'm bringing to the table, longing for approval despite all the mean girl nonsense. I always get to remember who I have been, decide to be real with myself. It's worth writing a poem at the end of the day, telling yourself you've dropped your crown, cause fuck these bougie bitches. I've got the experience of surviving so much worse than your sneers. Getting caught up in the insincerity of society is tiring. Normal people need to always be a fake kind of nice, the civility politics of it all. I'm just no good at pretending, I guess. That's why I never got to be an actress. Crying wasn't the problem, it was having to be happy, to lie with a smile. I'd rather be resilient than cool, typical, boring. I'm whimsical AF, and proud of myself. Proud of little old tough as nails, crazy, and yes, medicated me. Okay, I have one more for you guys. I wore the boots every day for likely a year,
and they are still in amazing condition. When I bought them, they were the most comfortable thing I had ever worn. I think they still are. Maybe I'm just old. Maybe I just have weak ankles. I took the soles out and put them in this ugly pair of clogs I used at a barista gig I got later after I finally took them off for the last time. But the boots, brown with purple accents and accidental affinity, the colors were my last consideration. I'd read so many reviews about the best quality hiker kicks I could get for the money I'd saved right before I lost everything for the second time. Like I knew that I would need them, like the road was about to get rough, and I had promised myself long ago to just keep walking.
Just two. One of them's in Spanish. I'm gonna read it in Spanish first, because that's how it was written for someone, and then I'm gonna translate it for you guys. I drank some holy water from the bottle and licked a bit off my peppered collarbone. Splints left Pedro's nose, a crow's beak entered my right arm. Had she given up on holding a page? My sweet little elbow aroused with the unexperienced rigorous thinking. Maybe tonight I'll write some. Tonight you will come in silence. No one will watch you. Your hand shakes, dances on a swivel, on your lamb's wrist. Tambourine-like, and to the bed of a drained man's song, brasses and pops finale jazz hints. Dance and drink your milk, boy, for come the sun in half a hand's hours, you'll dance again, in his tongue and along his teeth. Acuéstate en un valle de tu sangre. Al tocar de la puerta, hecho de hueso, y entrar a mi boca, te quedas a dormir en mi mente. Abajo de estrellas, hecho de mis pelos encojados uno con el otro. Besos que se dan, debes regalar a mi cuello. Pero hoy caminas en un pasillo de tierra, y hoy caminas en una escena de arena. Mátame con tus deditos finos, una delicadeza que no compara. Y el aire me odia, y mi padre te conoce, y tienes ojos negros, y me acuerdo de tu pelo. Dejo de vivir en el momento, y en agonía me siento, acompañado con la memoria de tu rostro. I'm gonna just translate it now. Lay yourself down in a valley of your blood, and with just a touch on the door made of bone, enter my mouth. You stayed asleep in my mind, under stars made of my hair, caught with one another, kisses that you should give to me onto my neck. But today, you walk in a hallway made of dirt, and today, it's a date made of sand. Kill me with your delicate fingers, and your fineness does not compare. Air hates me, and my father knows you, and you have black eyes, and I remember your hair. Let me live, and in agony I sit down, accompanied by the memory of your face.
Greetings, everyone. My name is April Flowers, and I'm just going to do one piece for you. I think I'm going to do one piece for you. Where's my phone at, though? All right. This piece is appropriate for me to do tonight because this is my first piece that I wrote. Lived a long time and stopped arting and stopped doing poetry, but I wrote this piece 3 years ago around June to come out and share it with you guys tonight is my privilege. Oz, the obligatory zoo, binding in law or consciousness, necessary, mandatory. Very often we manifest the desires of our hearts, not realizing that this is because of our words, thoughts, and deeds. Then suddenly we just let it all go into a sea of forgetfulness and disassociation, no longer remembering the gift that was in us was always there. And if we did it before, we can do it again. Consider the Wizard of Oz. Just like Dorothy, yes, we all know her, old Dorothy, and a little dog too. I know you, and I see you running, skipping, falling, and tripping through this thing called life. But in the meantime, I'm going to call it Oz, the obligatory zoo. Dorothy, like many of us, is looking for an outside source to send her home. Home, the place of peace. Although she already knows what it looks like, she believes she needs someone else to tell her what she already knows, sees, and feels. This has happened because she has let uncertainty fill her mind and her soul. We know how that story goes because all along, all she had to do was click her heels. 3 times, one for the Father, infinite intelligence, one for the sun, or shall I say for the sun that shines bright like diamonds in the sky, and one for the Spirit, as within, so without, as without, so within. You see, in the land of Oz, every person, place, situation, or thing she ran into was a reflection of herself. See, she needed a brain to think about the choices she was making as she was very often joyfully skipping off to be fully present in her bad decisions. See, she needed a heart. True, she was full of compassion, but her tender heart may have been a bit too compassionate. Adding to that, the inhabitants of Oz, they thought she was naive, but they're gone, and they are gonna learn. See, she needed courage to find the courage within herself to do what she knew needed to be done, to quiet the outside noises in order to hear from the voice of the Spirit from within. See, she had to deal with the jealousy of the wicked witch who was everything that Dorothy was not, or was Dorothy not. Even the yellow brick road was a path laid out, but the obstacles along the way could either help her on her journey or hinder her. Would it or did it take her 40, 50, or even 60 years? But I digress. And when she finally made it through all that shit, she got to the great and powerful Wizard of Oz. And guess what? He too was lost because he was just a man. A mortal man hiding behind a title, wearing a mask, looking down from behind the wall, surrounded by faithful servants as he passed judgment amongst the peoples. Okay, my plum disappeared. I found it. As he passed judgment amongst the people. Oh, she needed courage to find the courage she had to deal. Okay, she needed courage to find the courage within herself to do what she knew needed to be done to quiet the noises. She had to deal with the jealousy of the wicked. Oh, I did all that part already. Okay, and when she finally made it through all that shit, I did that part too. Okay, a mortal man hiding behind a title, wearing a mask, looking down from behind the wall, surrounded by faithful servants as he passed judgment amongst the peoples. Crown adjustment needed. In steps the good witch, or the goodness, or was she the good which comes from within? Nevertheless, it was she who adjusted Dorothy's crown and spoke into her destiny, reaffirming that everything Dorothy needed was already within her. And every place that the soles of her feet traveled was already given to her. So how's your trip in Oz? Because right now the world we live in is this ultimate land of Oz, the obligatory zoo, binding in law or consciousness, necessary and mandatory. I am April Flowers.
All right, next three, I got the bigger fan. The next three are Andrew. Sorry, wait. This is what I do while you guys are reading. Scribble everything. So, Andrew, Chantel, and Peter.
So honestly, I'm kind of torn between 4 different ones. So I'm gonna let you guys decide. First one's called Sad, Ceremony, Stepping Stones, or Girl Probs. Ceremony. Alright, you gotta be loud.
Come on. Sounds like girl problems.
Fucking knew you guys were gonna pick that one. This one's super vulnerable, and ladies, just bear with me on this one.
Okay.
Just hold the space. Don't take it personally. It's really not. I love you guys. If I can find it. Oh boy. This is going to be a fun one. Because, oh girl, surely you don't want none of this guy's pissed guys or glare from pierced eyes, much less a bite from his food or french fries. Damn, what's his problem? Well, it's no surprise. The heart throbs because mom dies at the age of 7 and now resides in some place called heaven while he's left abandoned. So then he grows up, dates his girl, and years later she dies of cancer too. So maybe you can realize why the fuck he sighs. Lately, I seem to attract flaky girls who either don't show up or don't stick around. Ghost ahead, turn that crown upside down. You missed your chance to properly value this property value. So don't step another foot on my land or turf. It's in development, but I know my worth. Hey, cheer up, could be worse. End up in a hearse from an electric fence with power turned on. Incredibly enlightening, reduced to nothing, flee like a dog, so bitch be gone. Can you blame me for feeling bitter, angry, and lonely when some have told me I can have any woman I want except the one I want because she's dead and gone, so I guess I won't. So long. This heart's in harm. I'm up in arms. I just don't know what the fuck to do but to surrender to the ugly truth, which is I must forgive you. No. You witches better listen up because your attempts to get close to the veins on this forearm are dreadfully in vain, so be forewarned. Make no mistake, you'll set off the alarm, flirting with danger, and get burned at the stake by the firearm of a lone ranger who's gone near insane from his own pain. So you see, ladies, my aim is noble and true. I must save you and me from me and you. It's protection from connection. Hurt and be hurt. Slaves to knee-jerk reactions. Plus fractures, times fractions, equals. Shattered mirrors, hit like asteroids, fragmented pieces. It never ceases. Either we get cut up or actively avoid. But by this point, it's not worth the price to pay, so sorry to say, hon, this transaction's void. Static action. Lack of interaction. What is this magnetic pull attraction that I crave so badly but won't allow myself to have? What on earth did I do in order to feel this fucking sad and be put in a position to attempt to explain the unexplainable feeling that pulls deep within my core and suffocates me from the inside out until I choke? It's my spirit. It's my soul. Guess that's the price of having been woke. And although I should be stoked, ideally, really, I'm just trying to stay afloat so I can catch a breath and breathe just a little bit more than inconsistently. There is a level of vulnerability that he works hard at not disclosing to others because lions are terrified of rejection. Their pride, dignity, loyalty, and affection on the line. Going unseen, unreceived, or just downright denied. But what good is light with no color from a prism? If resistance to intimacy leaves the desire unfulfilled, then what good is stoicism? So fuck it. I guess come inside and get to know his prison. Locked away in ice is the sound of a little boy's cries who loves his mother so much that his security guards hate her for not being around to mend the heart broken apart into a million shards stuck inside the densest possible glacier. Apart from the art, he's not showy and out there like most. Instead, secretive and intuitive, behind-the-scenes type of host. Undeniably unacquirable, and fortunately isolating himself from those who actually find him desirable. I dine alone at restaurants, skimming over the menu, ever ready to tear into and despise, couples sitting together, staring at their phones instead of into each other's eyes, all because I'm just a hopeless romantic spilling out this passion in an orderly fashion with no one to share it with or along for the ride. An empty seat shows the open road's my bride. As I return to center line, I can see that who I really am is a knight in aligning armor, a broken king with plenty of dents and dings, but surely my queen is out there somewhere, though it's not my mission to conquer, control, and own you, but rather take your hand, lead by ascension, mirror your potential, and throne you. But you'll have to be patient with thee always as I make my way free through the complicated maze and castle hallways I've built all around me. You see, in order for this to be a match with potential to spark fire, leaving a burning desire quenched, she will have to meet these requirements. Right from the start, she must be pure in heart, trusting in that more than what the world has in store. She must be passionate with ambition and drive, a loving, nurturing mother further down the line. A woman who kisses your scars and licks the wounds, not to pacify, change, or conceal them from view, but who accepts and honors them as significant parts of you. And lastly, but not beastly, she must know the pain of darkness, or at least see it's from the depths of black water that the lotus sprouts rising up and out. Otherwise, notice, we will have little or nothing to talk about. I know the situation is not ideal, and it sucks to admit I'm riddled with angry mistakes, but for fuck's sake, at least give me mad props for admitting I have girl probs and taking the necessary steps of action to correct hate. But don't be startled by the shadowy blocks I've hurdled or the surge of sludge I'm purging. It's just my process of emerging. And all I can do through this shit-eating grin is grit my teeth and admit I'm deeply in love with the divine feminine. So, Your Highness, I look forward to the day we meet and you become a lioness, my partner in crime, a real treat. Together we run the plains, kill it, and share the meat. It's evident that you want me to address the resident residing in a birthday dress provided at the address listed on an open house party, starting with an invitation largely designed to combine, escalate, and lift two parties in the most sublime housewarming gift or global warming shift your world has ever seen. So no need to stress over the mess made at the nest. Just relax and receive a celebration of sensations, organic spasms. Don't be surprised when you have them across the dance floor, smiling and tremble while blessed by the vast abyss of endless worship at the grand door of your mindful temple. And finally, when venturing out, I know you'll feel safe wherever we go, because I've sworn to protect you and your heart from dangerous evil. And one of these days, it won't ever show that it came full circle, and you'll never even know that I always start first and foremost with my own ego.
poem is called Built Different. Maybe someone will notice me and where I may be placed by society. On the outside, I look like you, but on the inside, it's all the clutter waiting to be discovered. My mind moves on a different frequency. Not broken, just built for precision. Where others rush, I'll calculate. Where they spill, I observe. I keep my circle closed. Because to know someone truly is to hold the key to their intent. But me, I wear a mask with grace, not to deceive, but to protect. See, my silence, it ain't weakness, it's restraint. A quiet storm holding itself back for your own good. You won't find my triggers. And if you have, know this, I let you in. That access wasn't a slip, it was a choice. Now the silence shifts, and the weight, it falls on you. To misuse what you know or to move with care. Only time will tell if you come with honor or you come to harm. I don't run from my missteps, they're my footprints. They shape me, each fall, each flaw, a verse in the poem of becoming. I wear my past like a second skin, not as shame, but as a story. I'm not racing shadows, I'm not chasing ghosts. I move in my own rhythm, steady in my lane. Fueled by growth, not comparison. Some days I rise, some days I relapse, but even in retreat, I face forward. Always becoming, always me. And if becoming is endless, will you ever call yourself complete?
While Peter's getting on the stage, can everybody do me a favor and check their phones? I am catching somebody's low-level frequency of music or recording or something I've been hearing for a while. So just please double check. Hey.
All right. Thank you, Lauren. And thanks everybody for being here tonight. I'm Peter Gordon, and I'm going to read two short poems. This first one, I do have to set up a little bit. I don't normally do this, but in 1981, before most of you were born, I saw the original production of Merrily We Roll Along on Broadway. It's a Sondheim musical. You may have heard it was a big hit last year, 2 years ago. It has stayed with me forever. And when I started writing poetry, I kept trying to figure out a way to do this. I actually checked my records. My first draft of this poem was 8 years ago. And I think I may finally have figured it out, because this version of the poem was the second place winner in the Florida State Poets Association Spring Contest. So thank you. And I'm going to share it with you. It is called Merrily We Roll Along, Alvin Theater, 1981. Like watching Da Vinci paint a velvet Elvis, or Chopin plunk keys on a toy piano, I sat fascinated by this fever dream of a Broadway musical. Hal Prince directed, Sondheim wrote the songs. These gods of my stage-struck youth created this middle school pageant that looked like the shop teacher directed it. Worse, the story's told backwards. Characters start old, get younger each scene, and the cast mostly college-aged, Prince's concept. Reminded me of 8-year-olds walking in mom and dad's shoes for the first time. They couldn't recreate the bitter horror middle-aged artists feel when they realize dreams will never come true. I became a rock. Waves of audience flowed around, up aisles to exits. Scattered handfuls stayed, rubberneckers at a car wreck, searching for signs of life. Just before final curtain, the cast filled the stage, playing their own ages, and sang the glorious lyrical Our Time, a paean to dreamers everywhere. Worlds to change, worlds to win in 6-part harmony. I'm older now than both Prince and Sondheim in 1981. But I can still feel the plush seat I grabbed to anchor body while my soul floated over orchestra to join that chorus. Next day merrily closed. For years, I wondered why Dionysus, god of the theater, kept the show open for me to see. Last year, I sat in the audience for a sold-out Broadway revival cast with stars in their 30s. I wept when they sang Our Time, joined everyone else in a standing ovation, prayed thanks to Dionysus for reminding me there are no failures, only delayed successes. Thank you. I thought that particularly appropriate tonight when I saw Kay, who I remember the first time you read up here. And I am also just so proud and happy that you were able to come and share all of your work tonight. This is a short one. A couple of weeks ago, I saw an old college friend, and it really stuck with me, so I wrote this poem. It's called Lucky. Survived cancer, no chemo, still cancer-free so far. Still happy with my work, 41 years married, 3 healthy children out of the house, but they visit often. Own my home, eat bagels and lox every day for breakfast. Met an old college friend for lunch last week. He walked slow to our table. 2 new knees and MS, he said simply, as if it wasn't a death sentence. Under control, long as I take my pills, still can go to work, drive, see my daughter. All my live old friends are ill. Still, I did think how lucky I was to walk fast and strong until in yoga, enlightenment hit. My friend believes he's lucky. He's alive after all, and so am I, and so are you. Make that matter. Grab those dice. Do you feel lucky?
I told myself that I would finish on time tonight because I had not finished on time in like 3 or 4 months. So I'm going to call just 2 more people, Jerry and Thomas. Are you still here? Okay, cool. Tom and Jerry.
There's a lot of them here, but there's another small. Bob bites. My long-haired, orange tabby cat is named Bob, and he loves to bite people. If I reach to pet him, he bites me. When he wants to be petted, he will lie on my lap to let me know, but it must be his idea. Even if purring on my lap, when he has had enough petting, he bites my hand, and you must understand, these aren't love nibbles. He bites hard. Whenever the doorbell rings, Bob runs to the front room and sits on a chair to greet the new visitor. I greet the visitor and say, "This is Bob. Watch out, he bites." Cat lovers are doomed because Bob tilts his head and looks as cute as possible with his orange long hair. When the guest carefully begins to pet Bob, Bob begins to lick them. And they often say, "Oh, isn't he sweet? Look, he's licking me." And I always respond, "He's marinating you." After a few more licks, they relax, and suddenly Bob gives them a good hard bite. I immediately get a look of shock and blame from my guest, as though it was my fault. Bob had used his sweet looks and deception to bite dozens of my friends. Unfortunately, Bob had a stomach problem that required him a pill. Bob does not do pills. And we fought daily over his pill. After a while, he seemed to understand that it was necessary, and it wasn't as bloody and I wasn't as bloody from his bites and scratches. However, eventually the pills stopped being effective, and Bob was suffering. Even though I loved Bob, I had to take him to the veterinarian, knowing he had to be put to sleep. Anyone who has had a cat appreciates the irony of putting to sleep an animal that sleeps 20 hours a day. On the way to the vets, I said my goodbyes to Bob, knowing that I would really miss his finer moments. He always came up purring whenever I sat down or crawled into bed. He always came and greeted me at the door when I came home. I greeted him with a hello, but never a petting. Usually, the veterinarian muzzles Bob, as his reputation at the clinic is legendary. I couldn't let Bob die like that. I held Bob on the table, and the vet gave him the relaxant. Bob began to relax, and so did I. The vet then gave him the final shot, and the last thing Bob did was to give me a good hard bite on the soft spot between my thumb and first finger. And he died. As he died, he slowly released his grip. Over time, as my grief subsided, I realized that while I missed many of the times when Bob was a nice purring cat, mostly I missed his personality, especially the way he greeted my guests.
Well, it's a gift to go last, and a real gift to follow a dear, dear friend. Never did meet Bob. Call this the Gospel of Aloha. Aloha, I'm Thomas. I'm married to a beautiful woman. We're very compatible these days. I tell you the truth. She's the sweetest Tupelo honey. She's an angel of the first degree. We got caught up in a fundamentalist Christian church, then met, and had kids before our eyes were opened and we wriggled out of that net. Since then, I've wobbled in and out of faith. I hang with the local Quakers these days. I have been going on 9 years. They are very welcoming. I call them friends. I sometimes break the silence of worship in their meeting house with poetry and song. It comes to me in the voice of Christ as I understand it. I am a pretty queer fish, I suppose. A new friend I made here at Temecula recently inspired me to sing a song I've not sung in public in a long time. This one came to me a few years back as I wandered in the August wilderness among the gators and the snakes and cicadas and mosquitoes, sweating out some painful memories. Well, now, sometimes I go out to lonely places until I'm ready to come back around your way again. Hey, I don't have much problems, generally, with crowded spaces until I do, and then I wander off again. And yes, I'll tell you without fail, when I'm wandering through the valley, I think of you, and I find you right by my side. Yes, and I know that when I come home, you'll be there waiting, ready to take me in again as I am. Yes, I am who I am, and I'm doing all I can, and I know that you are too, so come take my hand, for I am who I am, and I'm doing all I can, and I know that you are too, so come on, let's jam. There goes into a few more verses and things, but I'll leave them for another time. When Tara and I got married, it was a very crowded space. Sure was nice to get some time alone with her. Yeah. She's as sweet as Tupelo honey, just like honey, baby, from a bee. Earlier this week, I got Tara to agree to marry me all over again. On August 17th of this year, on the 17th anniversary of our wedding, we're having a party to renew our vows. The local Quakers are reserving their space for us. I'm looking forward to this party very much. All are welcome. It's an open invitation. Well, that's about all, folks. If you want to know more, holler at me. I'm an open book. Mahalo, aloha.
I will leave the last word to who the last word belongs to, Lauren. But before I do that, if you may have noticed that this event is like a drug-free medication against the 100% fatal disease called life. And we have other events during the month that are also pay what you like, just like this one, that you could find helpful. And so the second Wednesday is Puja's meditation for peace. You will not believe how powerful that can be. And the third Wednesday is the artist circle, as I mentioned before. The fourth Wednesday, it's my session. We listen to symphonic music in a big room. You heard a little bit of the acoustics there. I tried to catch you as you were singing, but it's really cool, that event as well. And so take advantage of what's available to you to help yourself and your friends feel better and have an easier time at life, because life is not always easy, as we all know. Lauren White, everybody.
mention the acoustics. If you have not been here for a concert or any of the music events, I highly recommend that you come because the sound in here, as you just heard, is very amazing in this intimate space. So please check out other things. A couple of reminders. Oh, he turned it off before I clapped. Couple of reminders. Please sign up if you would like to read. Go to the Timucua website, go to the section that is for artists. Please sign up for the open mic. I cannot promise that everybody signs up will get in. If you come in and you haven't signed up, I can't promise that either, but I know that a lot of folks don't always know that process, and then I feel bad because I can't get everybody in. I feel bad every month. So please try to remember to do that, and if you have any issues or any questions, my email is authenticselves@timucua.com. If you do not get an email from me the day before the show, you have not signed up. I don't have it. Please do not fill out the performer form. It is the open mic form. People get mad at me and then I get sad. So thank you. That is it for the night. I do want to make one more mention about Artist Circle. Anna, who was an intern and is now the Timucua marketing director, started that a couple months ago. And at the very first one, there were actually a few of the readers from this. So I love the synergy among the events and the wellness events. So please continue to support everybody. Next month, our visual artist name, oh my God, visual artist name is Jeff Wolfong. And I recommend following him on Instagram. In the next couple days, I will announce 4 or 5 pieces of his that he will have here or pinned to his Instagram for our first Ekphrastic poetry show. So I will be sharing that art with you, and if you so choose, please write for those pieces and let me know what they are when you write them. I will do more directions for that later. So very excited because he was actually in the first Artist Circle and I really wanted to write something for it, so it kind of worked out, and he'll be doing Full Circle with a live painting. So very excited about all open mic next month. Okay, that is it for tonight. Please take your cups to the bar, take your trash out, take your picture. Well, don't run. Please follow me on Instagram, _poetic_engineer. Tag your pictures, tag your videos, tag me, tag Timucua. I love seeing how all of you get to it before I get home to Satellite Beach. And then as usual, we'll take our performer photo up here on stage. Cool? Thank you, everybody.